Hey everyone, how you doing? It's Tom Numbers on this beautiful Game of Thrones winter is coming sun solstice day. Amazing. 2 A's, 1 B's, 2 C's, 3 O's, connect the dots. Esoteric consciousness of what's taking place, of what's going on. And I wanted to come here yesterday. I came here a couple of days ago. Today, the sun is out. I was actually but I'm here. So, who's in the chat? Let's see who's in. And yesterday, someone pointed out, so yesterday was the 325th day of President Trump's presidency. And I said 235, so I got the numbers in a different order. So the numbers I did were still correct with 235. 325 comes to, which was yesterday, comes to Donald John Trump 185 plus Tom Numbers 140. So there you have it, folks. There you go. So thanks for that little heads up. Look at it, it's beautiful. So you've got the bay there, you've got Swanage, the sun. The Isle of Wight you can see. We're going to go down to Old Harry Rocks. I'm going to take you down there. 326th day Trump's presidency is today, which will be the 326th day of the year, which is December 12th. 12 times 12 is 144. A lot of people talk about 144,000. Is that a group of people? Is that a frequency? I guess it could be a number of things. But 326, as in the number of days of Trump's presidency from January 20th, 326 comes to the second coming of Jesus Christ. I'm going to talk a little bit about that now, actually. The other thing with 326 is the 326th day of the year is actually the anniversary of JFK, so it's November 22nd, so we had that 2 weeks ago. That was on the Saturday. The Vegas race, the ISO, switch over the Q post, which is Death to the Triumvirate, with the beautiful picture of a bunker in it. Bunker 58 XRP Nasara star. But the reason for today's title, today's show, is well, we're out here, there's a bit of wind, you're just going to have to, if you're a real follower, then you'll know that. If not, then I'll just, say goodbye. It's amazing people give advice on, who aren't YouTubers, who've never done YouTube shows. There you go. There you go. Yeah. So there you go. Trolls will just be put out in timeout. And if you're a serious troll, you just get blocked. It's actually very mild out here. So, remember when Trump used to do the addresses from Air Force One and the engines, the turbines would be going? It was noisy. If you're in tune, you'll hear the message. So, it's amazing. But I'm grateful to my loyal supporters. So the second coming of Jesus Christ. There's no wind there. I'm just going to let you know comments about wind will just be a timeout. Just so you know, just a heads up. So, I saw a quote today, and it said, how people reacted in COVID is exactly who they are, and that really resonated. I had a friend, he's still around, I had a friend Arnie, I don't know if he's watching today, but he used to talk about how people are, like who they are, and the message I got from him years ago is a lot clearer in that respect now. Hey Sue, good to see you. And COVID was the perfect reveal. It showed everybody who everybody else was, and it didn't last for just a few weeks. It lasted for a few years, and it still hasn't actually technically finished. That will be sewn up when the black swan and the storm comes in, and disclosure and all the rest of it, and the continuation of the transition to greatness. COVID was the great revealer, and I've mentioned this before, but I was one that stood up immediately, and I'm very proud of that. No one can take that from me, because I do have spiritual balls, and I know a lot of you, my audience, do, because you stood up. And I'm also acknowledging those that transitioned over, that maybe dealt with things they had to during COVID and then have now woken up. One of them, Martin, he put a tweet out. He's a good follower of mine here in the UK, and so he shared his experience. But Martin stood up. Martin's woken up. So I'm moving on to but COVID was the perfect revealer of so many things. It showed who everyone is. You couldn't hide during COVID. And I've got to say, I hadn't thought about it kind of deliberately, consciously for a little while. I mean, it's always there. But when I saw that quote, I was like, wow, yeah, it was the great revealer. It revealed everything about everybody. And I remember May 21st, 2020, I did my first YouTube video. It's before I even knew what Q posts were. But I had been getting the codes on the numbers, and I had been getting the codes on 17 and Q, but I didn't know about Q posts. Actually, no, I might have discovered Q posts by then. But when I first came across Q, so the way I get my numbers, new viewers, is I get it from out here, from the ether, from the universe, my higher self, my guides, my ancestors that have passed on. I get it from Diana, from President Trump, from the Kennedys, Ivanka activating me, and probably some others I still maybe don't realise yet, but maybe haven't said at all. But the Q post was something I discovered later, like weeks into Corona. But the numbers and the number 17 were prominent. I discovered 9:08, the opening, the start time of Diana's funeral was at 9:08 in the morning. 9 plus 8, 17Q. And I found that independently, that came to me. So all the stuff I taught you about, I get independently. First it pops up and others mention it, or they don't. Look at that, folks, look at the glory of that, the glory of God. But Q, 17, COVID, yeah, so I'm proud of that. I remember having a conversation with my brother years ago, because we would talk about philosophy and the meaning of life and all kinds of things. Way before COVID, it's always something that's fascinated us, you know, what is all this about? I always hoped for something like the Great Awakening. I didn't know how it would materialise. I didn't know the depth of the badness, and I didn't know the majesty of the greatness. I hoped for greatness, but I wasn't, you know. We were locked in at some point, you know. They showed us that a lock-in. But as some were locked in, some were liberated, and I was one. Hey, who's that? Lovely to see you. But we would talk about it, and people know that I was brought up religiously when I left. I just kind of stopped going. back about 14, 15 years ago. But what it did is it gave me an appreciation for things like Jesus and the Bible and all that stuff. And I'm one that likes to take out the good and then just regard the rest. So there's good things I learned and there's other things I just kind of put aside. I was saying to my brother, excuse me, that if I saw the Harry Potter version of the gospel, we'll call it that, things like miracles, better life, because that's what the promise of Jesus is, isn't it? It's a better life. And then a lot of people kind of discover, I can't speak for everyone, but it was my experience, when people are in things like religions, more often than not, they kind of get bogged down with just keeping the rules. It's another kind of limited hangout. It's another lock-in. It's another lock-in. It's another thing that keeps you controlled. It makes you subservient to something else. And I was brought up with it, so I didn't know any different consciously, but I've had some pick that. We've all had some different things that we started with, and then we either go over them, some of them, other things along the way, or do whatever we do with our lives. But I always said to him, I said, if the Harry Potter or the Star Wars version of the gospel comes into reality, then I'd be back into it. And really, the Great Awakening for me has been I didn't know about the gift of the numbers, but it is a spiritual gift. I didn't know about seeing UFOs in the sky. I didn't know about the concepts of time travel. I didn't know too much really about this concept of magic, and I've seen how the dark side has used that. But there's also a good version of that which is being presented more and more to people, become more precise as we go along with it. And a whole host of other things. But the good version, the magical version, the better version, which is how they teach it. I remember being a missionary telling people about these wonderful miracles, and then when they get to it, it's just kind of keeping the rules. And so we evolve, we grow, we let go of things, we obtain new things, and we move on. But the Great Awakening, which really started globally in an obvious way, was 2020. The Great Awakening is 169 in numbers, which is Thomas Bushnell 169 in numbers, Trump Tower 169, Robert Zemeckis, the director of Back to the Future, 169. Look at this sunshine, folks. As I pulled up, I could see the reflection on our Harry. It was a bright, glistening rock. I'm hoping by the time we get down there, the sun, I'm not sure because of the elevation, we might have just missed that, but we'll see. But I'm getting the tip of the reflection of everything right now. So we'll see what we get when we get down there. But some other things about coronavirus, well, the coronavirus comes to 188, which comes to Jesus of Nazareth, which comes to President Kennedy, which comes to show me the money, which comes to close encounters. And all of those numbers, all of those phrases I've just shared with you have all been relevant during this Great Awakening period. You have show me the money with the RV. Prosperity is being poured out incrementally and probably soon exponentially. And there's been some peaks with it. There's been some stages with it. There's been some leaps. But money is being released back to people. And it's only the tip of the iceberg in terms of where we'll go with it. So prosperity is something that will be everywhere for everybody fairly soon, I think. Look at this. Look how the sun lights up. Can you see this? This is interesting. So behind me, that's all lit up, and this side is in shade. That's interesting. Nice. Coffee and cold pizza for breakfast. My friend Martina from a while ago, she her numbers were 169. I remember we had cold pizza one morning. Thomas Bushnell 169. Her full name was 169. But the Great Awakening, yeah. So Kennedy, the Great Awakening. Coronavirus, Jesus of Nazareth, Kennedy, Show Me the Money, Close Encounters, they're all intrinsically connected. Okay, so you can see the tip of, so I think in terms of the light, just the elevation, we missed the bright light, but we're still going to go down to Old Harry, we'll still see it. But about half an hour ago while I was driving over it, it was lovely. But we can see the bright lights of the Needles, you see. And why is the character Needles mentioned in Back to the Future, I ask you? So Needles, the guy from, what's his name, from Red Hot Chili Peppers. What's that guy's name? I can't remember his name. One of the band members. He appears in Back to the Future and Back to the Future 2. Actually, no, Back to the Future 2 and Back to the Future 3. Needles. Isn't it funny how Needles is a real place, but it's also a character in Back to the Future. And Back to the Future, Bushnell Avenue is one of the actual real life locations in Back to the Future. Something's going on, folks. Something's going on. And this is it. This is unpacking of the Great Awakening. It's unpacking of this universe, this reality that we live in, this simulation. Whatever it is, it's beautiful. It's fun to unpack. And I look forward as we keep ironing out all the bumps, all the bugs, the blips, because once all those are gone, it becomes heaven on earth. And maybe that's what life is. Maybe it's just understanding that, getting rid of the bugs, getting rid of the anomalies, the negative anomalies. That's lovely out there, the Isle of Wight. So the Isle of Wight is 133, simulation 133, Terminator 133, government 133, White House 133, Trump plus Vance 133, Trump effect. Hit the hype button if you would, folks. We're getting suppressed today for some reason. It's not too early in the day to do the show, but I can see that we're getting suppressed. Someone doesn't want me to say what I'm saying. I don't know when the 3 days of darkness will be. If I do find out, I'll let you know, but I don't know when. Might be 10 days. Might be even an individual conscious thing, I don't know. My observations of all of this is it's amazing. It's individual, it's personal, it's global, it's national, it's community led, it's all of the above. And I would say, and as I say this to you, I'm saying it to myself as well, I would say live the best life that you possibly can. Don't put anything on hold. I've done that with some of this because we're like, we're waiting and we're getting prepared. I mean, when COVID came in, I was just about to fly to the US and I had to change all my plans 36 hours before leaving. Although, to President Trump's credit, he had my back and he allowed the UK to travel to the US, but the people I was going to see and all the places I was going to go were just all tumbling like weeds, really. They were just losing their minds, and it would have been a mess. And there was probably the chance of delays and things like that, so I just didn't go. But I would live your life in the best way possible, and continue to do so. Take those trips, see family and friends, do the things you want to do, build the things you want to do, build the communities, invest in things you want, do all the things that you want to do, and do it with faith, do it with the assurance that God's got your back, Don't put anything on hold. And this is good reminders for me. Just take the leap of faith, whatever it is. And then if it changes, you'll be all right anyway, you know. And I don't know for sure, but I don't believe the things that are coming. Whenever we get those moments of real, I personally don't, it doesn't feel to me like it will be as long as COVID. I think it will be short, sharp, quick, cleansing. A storm is cleansing. Storms don't last forever. Famines and plagues tend to go on longer. I'm not saying a famine, but I'm plague. So if we say COVID was a plague, that lasted a lot longer than a storm. A storm, I believe, and I could be incorrect, but the way I see it is a storm will be quick, sharp, crisp, refreshing, cleansing, revealing. And also bear in mind, storm is 85, which is awakening, which is matrix, which is silver. Silver's going up. So the awakening is increasing. There's all these things in play, but I would live every day deliberately as much as you can. You know, do those things that you want to do, folks. That's what I would say. Get out and about, get out in nature if you can. I love coming out here. This is almost like a temple. This is like a special ritual that I love doing. I haven't done this one for a while, but I have done it again recently, in recent weeks and earlier in the week. But it's just a wonderful part of the world. I'm very blessed to have it. And so wherever you may be, see if you can get out and to the sea, or get out. There's, you know, a bit of poetry there. Get out and see what you can see. Do what you feel like you want to do. President Trump has said it a number of times. He says, enjoy your lives. You know, that's what we've got to do, is enjoy our lives. Live every day deliberately, consciously, as much as we can. And again, this theme of transition came up with the F1 race. So the biggest thing that I got out of that, they're all markers that seem to indicate things behind the scenes that have been taking place. So they're giving us the confirmation that we're on track. When things pop, I don't know. If I get a change on that, I will let you know. I just give you what comes to me, what I feel at the moment. I give you my best input, my best thoughts, my best advice, my best knowledge, and what God's telling me to say to you guys at the moment. And I also have seen with this, as we confirm things, sometimes they just take place, and they take place almost silently, but sometimes it's dramatic. Sometimes it's violently, you know. I remember when President Trump described Barron, he said he's vicious, he's violent, he's a fighter, he's you know. But he was describing his characteristics of a warrior, and of a warrior, not a warrior, not worrying, but a warrior. And that's what I am. That's what a lot of you are. And we do what we're supposed to do. I had to stand up during 2020. I passed. I got exalted then, basically. I'm getting a bit of a tingle saying that, but I know my place in the kingdom of God is assured. If it's a kingdom of God in that way, I've fulfilled as much as I can in my mortal sphere of my calling to help awaken people. And it's probably just the beginning. But I know what I've done to the best of my ability. You can always do more, but I've done the best of my ability with me being a human, with the resources I have, with overcoming all the hurdles and all the other stuff. So I've done my calling consistently, because I was given a gift. I didn't even know it was coming, but it's no surprise that it came, and it's no surprise that I was given it. So I'm grateful to all my audience, those that have come and gone, those that come back, those that are coming. But I'm valiant, I'm a warrior. I stood up, and I've continued to stand up. It's been almost 6 years now, and the best is yet to come. We continue. Maybe it's an interview, maybe it's a refining process for other callings, other things to do. There will be other gifts when the next phase of quantum jumping happens. There'll be other gifts that are brought into being, but I've tried to magnify the best I could, and people know that. People that watch me know that I'm real, I'm authentic. It's me. I don't have a team behind me. I do have gifts from above, but it's me. I'm Tom Numbers. I do my thing. I try my best, and I'm happy. I'm proud of my achievements, of my efforts, of my results. I love myself. And that's something we should do. We should have self-worth and love ourselves, and we can love each other. We can love other people. And there's a nice calmness, there's a nice reassurance and power that comes with that when you speak the truth, when you know the truth, and you help people with that. That's a special thing, and I'm happy with that. I'm glad about that. And yeah, coronavirus showed everybody who everybody else was. And a lot of it's been very surprising. And it still continues to be surprising. But you know what? I'm at the stage where I'm kind of like, okay, oh, that was a surprise, but okay, I'm all right with that, you know. Sometimes it just takes people a bit longer, and that's okay as well. But those that know with it. Look at this, beautiful. It's beautiful. It's just incredible out here. I didn't know a few years ago that I would be doing YouTube. I felt like I wanted to do YouTube before, probably in the sports area. But I didn't know that I would be doing YouTubes, daily vlogs, walking along the most majestic coastline in England, talking about numbers and the Great Awakening, and all the things that interest me, you know. So I can hear something down there. What's that? I can hear something. A bit of like a rumble. There's like a rumbling over there, but there's no like evidence of a storm or anything. I don't know what that is. Is that a drum? Are they doing something? I don't know. There's a nice, elegant smell of burning wood out here right now. Not too strong. I love the smell of burning wood, but there's a nice waft, a nice freshness. I'm just very grateful, folks. I'm really grateful for the last few years. I'm grateful for my gift. I'm grateful to you, my community. If it wasn't for you, I would just be talking into a phone. But it's wonderful to interact with you guys and girls, and I feel a responsibility to you. You know, I feel the numbers are a privilege. This is a privilege. And I don't think everybody can do it. And I also understand that if you don't have certain unique skill sets, gifts, you won't be able to carry on doing it. But I'm lucky. I've always been strong in character. Strong as 93 Bushnell. I'm a warrior. I've had all manner of things, like you have, that challenge us in life. But like my friend Matt Letitia said, he said he's going to keep speaking, they'll just kill him to stop him. Same here, they just have to kill me, but they can't kill us. That's the other thing, they can't. The most they do is they've irritated and buffeted us, but those days, I believe, are pretty much gone now. They're gone. And eventually we get to the point where we're like Neo and we can just deflect everything. So I'm looking forward to that as well. And maybe that's already here, and maybe I don't fully realise it yet. Probably there's probably a bit of both of that and that nuance of that statement. But I am grateful. Put it this way, if I hadn't been given the gift of the numbers and then another version of Tom Numbers popped up, I would want to watch Tom Numbers because it's the areas of things that I'm interested in. But luckily, and maybe always meant to be, well, it is because it's happened, I was picked to do it. And I have a responsibility to share it with the world. I try my best to share it with the world, but there's ways I've got to expand it and make it bigger and get the message out more, because the world is ready now. I thought they were ready as soon as I got it. That's just a natural disposition, isn't it? If we realise something, we would all intrinsically, for the most part, believe and think others can see it as well. But it's surprising when they can't. But then it's like, okay, how do you teach it? How do you share it? How do you make it accessible to others? And then once I share the numbers and put the codes out there, then it's there. It's like 88 miles per hour. I was the first one to come up with that years ago, in terms of Trump. And now the rest of the world, the rest of the community's caught on with that. So that's great. But that's something I had to say thousands of times. And now the world knows about it. Hey, oh, bless you, and say thank you. Thank you very much for your there you go, I'm giving you a heart. Thank you for your, there you go, I gave you a love heart and a thumbs up. Thank you for your super chat, it's much appreciated, it's much appreciated. Anyone wants to give a super chat, I'll give you a shout out. If you want to send a PayPal or a Revolut, you can. Actually, I need to put the details of Revolut. My Revolut is at numbers88, so if you want to send a donation via Revolut, you can. That's a good reminder, I should have put that up. I will. But my PayPal link is below, and you can send that, and I'll give you a shout out. But really, the best is yet to come, and the mission's just started. And also to put things in perspective, because I know, like the rest of you, that because we're awake, we want things done immediately. And that's okay. The good guys, the white hats, know that. But also to put things in perspective. Still, the majority of the world aren't aware, or not to the level that we are. It's not a competition, but it's just a reality. It's like most still aren't aware to that level. And they're still doing things that need to be done in terms of the point of when it can all be declared that the war is over and that the victory is there. So it's just it's patience. It's patience. We've been patient all our lives, but what would you rather have? Would you have patience with no hope and no evidence of change? Or would you rather have patience, evidence of change, because you just have to look at how the world has changed since 2020. And I encourage you to, I always look at the positive. I'm aware of the negative, but I look at the positive. There's been thousands of things that have been improved since 2020. My life is a testament to that. And hopefully a lot of you that are watching can resonate with that statement, that your lives have improved. And as a whole, consciousness is raising. You know, blockchain is around, AI is around. These are blessings, these are tools, these are things that can help and do enhance humanity. They weren't really consciously around not long ago. Look at that behind me. Look at the effect. So it's good to, you work outside, that's good. It's good to get outside, it's fresh air. It's nice to sleep indoors, and it's lovely to get fresh air. And when it's warm, it's nice to sleep outdoors as well, camping and all that stuff. Life is a plethora, it's a potpourri, it's a smorgasbord. It's a feast of many experiences, and it's good to experience many things. it's good to experience many things. Okay, here we are. We're coming down to the tip now, where there's kind of these few fingers that jut out into the sea. That almost looks a bit like a kind of Jurassic Park, so this is called the Jurassic Coast as well. I'm at the tip of the Jurassic Coast. Because anciently, and who knows, maybe just a matter of seconds ago, in the grand scheme of things, and if it was an implanted download, there used to be dinosaurs. So they say. Seems like there's evidence of it. But that's the other thing about evidence. What is evidence? Evidence is a series of things that are created to give a certain sense of certainty about a certain subject. But then with things like AI and other stuff, we're beginning to see that certainty and evidence can, and quite often are and have been, created like that. It's a beautiful thing, folks. It's a beautiful thing. Basically, anything's possible. Anything is possible. Don't get hung up on too many things. Enjoy the ride. But here we are. Look at this cliff. So I'm about 10 meters away now. I'm going to take you to the edge. I like doing this. It's fun. It's like it's enlivening. It's like, there we go. There you go. Can you see it? There we go. I'm going to take you around on this side. I shared a message with my brother again yesterday. It's like, don't do it. I'm not doing it. But I do think at some point we're going to fly. Neo flew. Superman flew. I'm sure Jesus could fly. I'm sure I can fly. It's just kind of remembering it. I'm sure you can fly as well. But in the meantime, we'll just enjoy the show. We'll enjoy the view. See just there? Just there, there's a nice kind of little arch. Look at the beauty. I mean, I used to love living in London. I still go up there, obviously, but Regent's Park, it was a beautiful part of the world. But then I was moved down here. God wanted me down here. God 26 game, 26, card 26, flag 26. They wanted me down here, so I came down here. And I get to do this. And I always did. I always wanted to live down here. And I think I lived here anciently. In fact, I'm pretty sure of that. Because of the numbers, the names. I mean, this bit of land that I'm on is known as Purbeck 76 Thomas. And this stretch that I've just taken you along is called Ridgeway. Ridgeway is 92 numbers. Or the Ridgeway. I think Ridgeway is 92 numbers, yeah. So it's just a lovely piece. It's a lovely part of the world, and I get to do live shows with my wonderful audience when I'm here. Look at this, folks. Look at the colours. So we were here the other day, but look at tonight's colouring. Look at tonight's set of materials. Look. Colouring. The colouring book, the God's colouring book. Look at it. It's incredible. Look at the big arch. So there's literally like a big arch in the middle of that last, see? That's a hole there. That's a big cavity in the rock. But it's wonderful. If I was out here yesterday, it would have been dark and gloomy, and it would be pretty dark. It wouldn't be as pretty. But it's pretty. It's got better this afternoon than it was even earlier today. Right, so right now I'm out on the edge now. There we go. So that's the tip of Swanage over there. There you go. Look at this lovely undulation. This shelf of chalk, of rock. They say there's gonna be flying cars next year, so maybe next year I'll have a flying car, and I can let's think about that. So soon, maybe as early as next year, I'll have like a flying car, and I could come out here and do shows. How about that? Or maybe a micro light. I mean, you could do that now, but they're saying they're gonna have flying cars. I guess flying cars will be some kind of large drone-ish kind of contraption. But that'd be fun to come out here. I came here a couple of years ago, and I met a guy that had a drone, and he showed me how he was doing it. It was really great, brilliant stuff. But it's wonderful, look. It's wonderful. That's it, you got to play your songs. That's it, brilliant stuff. Keep playing the songs. Being positive. That's what life's about, positive. We're going into 2026. We will accept and trust whatever's coming. And I say trust in terms of, I don't mean like blind obedience. I'm not saying that, because that's something we've been caught up in. But trusting in the goodness of this whole operation, because it is a military operation. Military is 107, which is quantum 107. Mountain, so to get up here, it's like climbing a little bit of a mountain. Mountain is also 107. So how about this, folks? Mountain 107, quantum 107, military 107, XRP plus XLM 107, Trump's 107, eternal life 107, atonement 107, Aquarius 107, 107, as in 2020. So it's a wonderful, I'm just very happy. I'm very grateful for all of this. I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful for the blessings. I'm grateful for the experience. I'm grateful for my health, for my strength. I'm grateful for my location. I'm grateful for my audience. I'm grateful for the gift of the numbers. I'm grateful for people that are loyal, people that are true. They're quite rare, but I'm grateful for them. And they know who they are to me. Others, I'm grateful for the things they teach me. It's getting easier and easier to see who people are, and it's easier to acknowledge people's patterns. Patterns are quite predictable, and I see them quite easily in folks now. We all have patterns. I'll have patterns. But then it's like choosing what you resonate with, you know? And also meeting new people. There are some really golden people out there, and they're the ones, luckily, I seem to attract. I do attract some kind of occasional indifferent ones, but also it's okay to let go of that. Look at the wave there, do you see that? There's some big waves there. So you do get surfers, not necessarily around here. It's probably difficult to get out here to do it, but you could surf out here probably, because there are some big waves. So, oh, that nice kind of burning smell. There's a few cottages. As I go back and it gets a bit patchier for reception, there's some cottages. Yeah. I've said before, I've seen people, you know those kids on YouTube that like hang off skyscrapers and stuff with skateboards? I've seen some of them. Not recently, but I have in the past seen them literally just walk out out there, casual, like kind of in their Converse and just with a bottle, just out there. I've seen it. It's crazy stuff. So anyway, all right, folks. I'll see you tomorrow. Click the links below if you want to send a PayPal. If you want to book a one-on-one session with me. Oh, I'm very, very, very pleased that you got your Tangent. Click the links below. You get 10% off right now. Click the link below with Tangent. Tangent will change your crypto journey. So go for it. Scalar. I got my scalar in my pocket. My AHA Halo. Take that with me everywhere. I sleep with it. It's a wonderful, reliable thing. And I mean, look, my eyebrows are getting darker. They're getting thicker. So something's changing. I've increased my well-being, and I continue to do that, and things start to show. So you know. And so this is Christmas. There you go. All right, folks. Excuse me. I will see you tomorrow. Much love. God bless you. Take care. Bye.